Hello everyone, I hope you guys are doing great. Welcome back to another tutorial. Today we are going to keep it short and talk about taming the AI on anti-gravity. We all love using the anti-gravity editor, right? Well, it has some shortcoming when working on complex project setup and we can guide it to cooperate better. Here I have a project that is built using Frappe framework. Let's ask the AI to do some very simple task. I'll just ask it to run the Frappe project. It starts by looking for the proc file, which is the process file of Frappe, and it is expected behavior since this file contains all the instructions to run the Frappe app. Here it is trying to understand which bench version is installed on the system. It is asking for permission. Let's give it the permission. But here it is trying to run the command as root user, and as you know, we are not supposed to run this project as root because that might create file permission issues. On top of that, it did not activate the virtual environment. The bench is actually installed on the virtual environment. Also, it does not know where the virtual environment is for this project because it can be anywhere, right? So I can already sense that anti-gravity will fail, so let's stop it. Okay, so the reason it fails is very simple because anti-gravity does not know about the actual user of this Ubuntu distro. It does not know about the virtual environment. It was trying to run the command as root. Let me show you what it should have done. Anti-gravity should have switched to the actual user first by running switch user to sub, which is the actual user of this Ubuntu distro. Then it should have navigated to the home directory where the virtual environment is located. Because the bench start command will not work from this directory. See, it did not even find the bench command because it should have navigated to the virtual environment directory, which in this case is in the home directory. If I run ls command here, you can see I have the virtual environment for this project named env14 here. Then it should have activated the virtual environment by running source env bin activate. Even now, the bench command will not work because this is not the actual bench directory. It is supposed to cd into the f16 directory because this is the actual bench directory. Then it should run the bench start command from here, and you can see it is working this time. So this is the correct way, and this is also normal that anti-gravity will not know about this because we can configure our project in 100 different ways. As you can see, when I do it manually, it works perfectly. Now you can log into the Frappe and do whatever you want. So now the question is, how do we instruct anti-gravity to do all of this automatically for us? Well, we need to tell anti-gravity about our project by setting up a few rules. Let me stop my bench command first. Let's create a folder named .agent in the root of your project directory. Inside that, create another folder named rules. Inside that, create a file named environment.md. Immediately, you will see that anti-gravity recognizes this file. There are some activation mode options here. Choose any one based on your requirement. I'm going to select the always on activation mode for this project. Now we need to provide the instruction. I'm going to paste the rules that I wrote earlier. It is actually a very simple instruction. It says do not run any command as root. You can ask for permission if required. Switch the root user to sub because this is the user that should work for this project. Then navigate to the home directory, activate the virtual environment and navigate to the project directory. Finally, run the bench start command to start the Frappe project. So I'm going to save and close the markdown file now. Let's ask anti-gravity again to do the same task. I will just type run the project. This should now work and anti-gravity should run all the command as the instructed user, which is in this case sub. Look at that, it correctly started by running the switch user command. I will accept that. The user switch is completed. Now it wants to execute the rest of the commands. I'm going to accept this one too. One by one, it will now activate the environment, navigate to the correct bench directory and initiate the bench start command. Here anti-gravity noticed some ports that were opened from my previous session. So it wants to list the application using those ports. I'm going to allow it to run the lsop command too. Now Antigravity is asking for permission to kill all the open ports. Let's allow Antigravity to kill those ports, and there you go. It has successfully ran the bench start command. Though the port is not the correct one, I can assume it will correct the port soon. Here you can see it corrected the port, and I can now open the project. So Antigravity has successfully run the project and everything is working fine. So this is how you can instruct Antigravity to handle complex workflow. By the way, I have written a detailed blog post about these topics too, just like all of my tutorials. You can find all the instruction in the blog post. The link will be available in the description box. That's all for now. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying with me, and good night.